Jai Gurudev and welcome everybody to the third podcast on Echoes from Sankhya. And today I will be continuing my podcast with Supriya. Last time we discussed the Moolaprkrithi and now we are going to go further on that. Welcome, Supriya.
Thank you. In our last podcast, we discussed about the Moolaprkrithi, and in this one, we're going to discuss more on Prakrithi and Avikrithi. But before that, I'd love to know more about the magic number 7 that you've been referring to.
Okay, magic number 7. All right, that's a good way of putting it. Okay, tell me, why do you think number 7 is ubiquitous in your life?
Maybe the number of days are 7 in a week, and there are 7 the Saregama Padanisa, so the 7 as well in music.
Some naughty ones might say that there is a 7-year itch. But in Art of Living, we also have something special for 7, right? What are they?
Yeah, the 7 levels of the existence. Yeah.
Exactly. So the magic number 7 itself is a very special component of our exploration of Moolaprkrithi. And in this podcast, we will explore how this number 7 comes about and what is its significance in the creation of this world, that Maya, that world of illusion that is created. Shall we do that?
Yes, let's do that.
So give this, geometric reason for why there are exactly 7 nodal levels in the system. Why is that number? Why 7?
See, it actually ties back to that concept of fundamental doubling. In the last, in episode 5, we said that if one unit doubles, if you take each edge, it was 1 unit, it became 2 units. Volumetrically, now it has become 8 times. The sutra is actually saying that it is talking about a 3-dimensional wave propagation. So you have got x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. So you've got 3D, right? 3 dimensions. And if we change 1 unit to 2 units for the whole wave, it now becomes 8 times bigger.
8 combinations. But you said 7 levels. So where does that 7 come from?
It's a good question. Now, if you take 8, so we've started with 1 and we've reached 8. What is the increment? It is therefore 8 minus 1. It is, see, the fundamental state where you started, you've again got back to that fundamental state. So it's like days of a week, right? So you start with Sunday, and when you come back to Sunday, how many days have lapsed in between? The increment is 7 days. So 8 minus 1. So that's basically how it is. If it's the same thing with musical notes, if you start with sa and then sa, then in between the increments where the 7 comes from there.
Got it. So the 8 includes the origin point. The 7 are just the sort of stages of potential structure within it.
So you have now 7 distinct nodal levels. These are harmonic states that exist within the full cycle of 8 combinations. It's like there are 7 steps between the start and end of that cycle.
Right. Got it. Yeah. It's just wonderful. Yeah.
So although nothing has been created yet, there is a structure which has got that. And there is another detail here. The sum of the inward harmonics in the cycle, it will be 1 divided by 7. Again, linking it back to the number 7. And the source really emphasizes that all these 7 levels are captive. That is, they are held within a spherically harmonic cycle. It's like they are intrinsically linked parts of a fabric system, So you can't isolate one and try to do something with it. When you work with these 7 levels, the 7 levels you work with together. Because after that, there will be another higher plane of 7 levels. It's like 7 levels of existence. After that, there is another 7. It's a fractal. Yeah. But we can't take one level and try to do something with it. We have to take all the levels holistically while working with creation. That's what Rishi Kapila is trying to address here.
So you're saying that you cannot separate these at all. Is that what you're saying?
The sutra says this. The sutra says interactions happen when these vibrating states collide or something obstructs them. One of the outcomes that can happen when the two vibrations collide is that the outcome could be a superposition. That means the states instantly combine to a new position. But here's the kicker, Supriya. The source says that the output sum, it's not adding, it's not an addition of the two vibrations. It is the multiplication. It is the product of the two vibrations.
Whoa, okay, hold on. Adding them results in multiplying them. That just sounds backward.
It does, doesn't it? But in this ancient model that Rishi Kapila has given us, energies or states combine at this base level. It is presented as an axiomatic fundamental rule of interaction. You remember in my very first episode, we talked about simultaneous claps and
Yes.
sequential claps. This is
Yeah.
this is why I mentioned that in the first episode. For us to understand Prakrithi and Avikrithi. Prakriti happens from mūlaprakṛtir. It is superpositioning. Therefore, you don't add the two, you multiply the two.
So it suggests something really different about how energy or states combine at this base level.
So that is one. So one outcome is superposition. The other outcome can be sequential over time.
Okay.
If it is perfectly balanced, you get superpositioning. But if it's unbalanced, the sutra says that the nodes, you remember the stationary points on a string which is oscillating, the stationary points actually start to shift and they move towards that lower value. So when they are not balanced, the entire shift will be towards the lower value. So this is what I discussed last time. What was Gurutvakarshana? Gravity is nothing but that drift. When imbalance happens, when the vikaro happens, the imbalance happens, sooner or later, those nodes will start to drift towards lower and lower and lower value. That's why we get attracted to people. We are in a hyper state, and then you need somebody, you're attracted to somebody who can calm you down. It's the same philosophy. It works in every walk of life and in every aspect of creation. It is important to know that if it is unbalanced, the sutra says nodes, those stationary points, they actually shift and they shift towards the state that has a lower value.
That's just absolutely fascinating. So an imbalance literally causes a structural shift, like the stable points move. That's like stress causing a change in form.
It is. It's a very dynamic picture of what happens.
Now that we've explored the number 7 in relation with the Prakrithi and Avikrithi, we're going to get into the number 16, something just as exciting. And we're going to do that in our next podcast. Thank you so much, Dr. Rao, for such a wonderful and insightful session. And we're going to see you next time. Jai Gurudev.
Thank you so much, Supriya. Yes, number 16, that is going to be very, very fascinating for our viewers because that has something significantly related to our own art of living. So we look forward to that. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev.